Welcome back to the channel, everyone. For today's video, we are in Paris, France for a stay at L'Hotel, a historic property remembered as the place where the incomparable Oscar Wilde spent his final night. In fact, we're staying in the luxurious Oscar Wilde Suite and enjoying a private visit to L'Hotel's subterranean Hammam pool and steam room. So come on, let's head inside for a real look at what it's like to stay at this famous Parisian property.
Parle tout bas, je vois la vie heureuse.
L'Hotel is a 5-star property nestled amidst the cultural, artistic, and bohemian atmosphere of Paris's left bank. It is also ideally situated within walking distance of Notre and the Louvre, and it is notable for having been a boutique hotel before the invention of the concept of a boutique hotel. Additionally, the interiors of each of the property's rooms have been designed by Jacques Garcia, a well-known French architect and interior designer. L'Hotel offers its guests a beautifully decorated bar and lounge area, and from what we understand, the hotel's property has restaurant facilities but now only serves breakfast. And before jumping into our own experience at L'Hotel, here's what popular Paris YouTuber Colleen from Frenchies had to say about the property.
This place is ideal for somebody who wants a high-end getaway, privacy, discretion, and something extraordinary that connects them to history.
Upon arriving at the hotel and checking in, we made our way up to our room for a quick change before making our way back down to the basement level to enjoy our 1 hour of private time in the property's Hammam pool and steam room. It's also possible to get a massage poolside, though we did not request that service this time.
So this is the door into the spa area, and I think this is where you get ready. And you need your key card to be able to open that, and you have to book the time to come down here, and included in our room rate, we get 1 hour of complimentary spa time, so we reserved this hour for it. But over here, in case you need it, there's a toilet, towels, extra. These came from the room. And then there is a shower for when you are done, water bottles, and then over here, whoa, that is really cool. Ooh, it changes colors, that's really neat. And to the left, you get your own sauna. That's pretty cool. So you can get nice and toasty and then come over here and jump in the water and cool off. Also, before you jump in, on the wall here are rules, and one of them is that you have to shower before you just go jumping in there. So since that's one of the rules, we're gonna go rinse off first and then come back for this. Okay, it's not bad once you get in. It's a little bit cold when you first come down that ladder. Ooh, it's getting deeper. But once you're in, it's nice.
It's nice.
Yeah, we have even a little deck here, which we thought was pretty funny. It's wooden. It's nice.
Needless to say, we very much enjoyed our time at the pool and think it is a perk worth taking advantage of by those staying at L'Hotel. After rinsing off, we made our way back up to our room for a better look around. As you walk into the room, you are greeted with a portrait of the incomparable Oscar Wilde. To the right of Oscar Wilde's portrait, we are welcomed into this gorgeous bathroom by these beautiful green tiles, set all around the bathtub. The bathtub is, of course, beautiful, but there is a lip that overhangs the tub itself from the green tiles, so when it comes to trying to lay back, it's not as comfy as it could be. Up behind me are extra towels for you to use, and I think that the red that they used at the top of this room plays really nicely with the color of green tiles here for the tub. At the back edge of the tub, you find conditioner, shampoo, body lotion, body wash, and body oils, all by Green and Spring. As far as the taps go, you have your bath, temperature, and then the extra handle that sits on top, depending on whichever one you want to use. In addition to the beautiful green tiling, there is fantastic wood paneling all throughout this bathroom, and some gorgeously framed mirrors. Look at the lights there. I feel like you're getting ready for a show, which Oscar Wilde would have written. Speaking of, The tissue box over here is made to look like a book. Over here we have the sink, which also has that green tiling and some extra hand towels. More of the Green and Spring product. This is hand cream and hand wash. And these taps are pretty well cleaned. I do not see a smudge anywhere on them. To the right of the sink, you have your plug here for whatever you may need. Behind me is where you would have found one of the room's robes, but we've already been down to the spa, and so we used both of those because they told us to go ahead, put the robes on, and then head down. But as you will see for the spa portion, branding is on point, and these are pretty comfy robes. The second robe would have hung just behind the back of the bathroom door. And something I found kind of interesting is if you look up, this little mirror here reflects the light in the bathroom, but it gives the illusion like it's one of those gaps at the top of a door like they used to do, which I think is a pretty cool effect. But if you go outside, you will see there's nothing up there. Looking down at the floor, Nez thinks that this is an Art Deco pattern, and whether it is or not, we really enjoy it. We think it's nice. It has an antique look to it, and the yellow fits in really nicely with the brown and the green. Below the sink, we have a cabinet, though there's nothing in here. It's just an empty space. Now, if you're tired of the green and don't want to use the green sink, well, they've got you covered because you can come right over here and they have another sink for you. This one is sort of what you would call a normal sink, as it is that typical white, some extra hand towels, a larger one here, two smaller ones, some more of the Green and Spring product in case you don't want to share between sinks. And then they've also got you with a shower cap, a vanity set, a shaving kit, and a dental kit. And there's your plug. And in case you thought you didn't have enough mirrors already, they've also got one on an accordion. As Nez and I love older buildings, we also love the fact that often in those buildings you will find little secrets tucked away here and there. One, maybe not so secret thing, but looking secret, is this little cabinet here. Looks like part of the wall, but really 4 or 5 shelves there for you to put something. I don't know what. Maybe if you unpack your suitcase, that's where you can put some of it. To the right of the tub, you will find a very large window that goes right out onto the private terrace. Though I think you can open it, they have a bar there indicating that you probably should not try to climb out there. I retract that. It does not go to the private terrace. It seems to go to what will be skylights. There seems to be rubbish underneath some of them for now. And while the yellow and red curtains go well with the floor and the walls, it looks like they're getting a little bit old here. Some what appears to be staining. That said, it is a very minor ding in what is otherwise an impeccable and gorgeous room. And in case you didn't notice it before, look at this woodwork just above the tub. That is gorgeous. And looking closer, this is not a ram, it does not seem, but it gives the appearance of a ram. And there are rams hung throughout this hotel, so maybe that was intentional. Also moving on up to the trim, this is more stunning woodwork. Very beautiful. So from the tub, moving to the left, there is another door, mirrored, of course, because you need plenty of mirrors in the bathroom. I'm really not complaining. You open the door, and this is where they have the toilet and the shower. And of course, some extra towels for when you shower. Now in the bathroom, they've made it entirely red, and over here you will find the toilet with some extra toilet paper, as well as a small trash can over there. Here is the button to flush, and let's see. That's pretty decent toilet paper. Not the best, but pretty decent. For the shower, I believe this is a bath mat down here, and it's kind of a small shower with a curtain instead of the door that you might be used to. Looking at the shower head for the rain that's going to be falling on you, that looks pretty clean. That's pretty well done. I like that. And if you don't want the water falling on you from above, they have another handle here for you to use. And of course, the taps look nice and pretty clean with even more Green and Spring Relax product sitting in the shower waiting to be used. And though they have Green and Spring everywhere, I'm not really complaining about that because we did use some of that product down in the spa. It smells pretty good. Now, how much space do you actually have in the shower? As Walk With Me Tim would say, you get one, you can maybe get 3.5, 4 people if you really squeeze, because this and the taps all stick out. So from the bathroom, before entering the actual bedroom itself, there is a doorway here in the hallway, and this is where you will find all of the snacks and goodies. So this is not complimentary though. They have tucked away here in the corner a little mini bar list. The only thing that is complimentary is going to be the coffee pods, which are located right down here. The coffee machine is over here. They have a little kettle there for you. There's your little cups to use. And what else is complimentary is also the water that is in the room behind me. Otherwise, all of these little goodies are for purchase. And let's see what that might run you. If you want that Toblerone right there, that is going to cost you €3.50. Moving down here to the fridge itself, these are also listed, so if you want that beer right there, it looks like that's going to cost you €8. Obviously, it is different for everybody, but I think around €8 is probably what you would normally expect to pay at a nicer place, for a beer that is. They've also got some Coca-Cola in there, ginger beer in case you want to mix some drinks. Looks like maybe some champagne back in the corner there, and I believe these waters are also complimentary. To the left is your hairdryer right there, and then below that, you will find a little bag if you want to send off some clothing for laundry. And it seems to be the theme for this place. There's another huge mirror. Now, if you think it's time to go into the room, you are wrong, because there is another door here just before you get into the room. Opens up pretty wide, this one. This is where you'll get your safe. This is where you also get hangers. You see that they have hung some of our coats for us. Now, this was a bit of a surprise to me, is that I did not find any iron, steamer, ironing board, none of it. So I think they maybe want you to use their laundry services. I don't know if that's true, if that's the goal, but that stuff does not appear to be here, so just be aware of that. Also on the inside of this door right here, they have the room rate, and then they are telling you that you can add breakfast as a supplemental cost and kind of just laying out the city tax, stuff like that. But I do like the fabric that they used for the interior of this little closet. That's cool. Okay, you've waited long enough, or you've just skipped ahead. Either way, it is time for the room review, and that is right behind this door. And I've got to say, it's gorgeous. We really like the carpet and think it matches well with the vibe they are going for here. And please ignore the fact that right when you walk in, we have some of our stuff set out over here. Just ignore that. But right next to some of our stuff, you have a fireplace here, and the guard in front of it looks like it is antique. And as you know that we love old things, this is a really nice touch. This is what it looks like behind the guard, and I don't think this fireplace has been active in a long time. Primarily because what is above the fireplace on this gorgeous black, looks like black marble mantle, is a TV. And then they have a little mirror here. And to the right of the TV and mirror, you have this gorgeous lamp. In fact, as you can see behind me, the wallpaper is absolutely stunning, and all of the light fixtures in here are simply stunning. Like, let's just do a sweep of the room.
As a reminder, if you're enjoying the video or finding it useful for planning your own travels, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button.
Yes, the bedside lamp is Oscar Wilde, and it looks like he is writing letters. The lamp on the other side is different, but each sits atop a sort of pillar side table with marble top. And of course, the beautiful wallpaper is set such that two peacocks frame the backdrop for your bed. Indeed, with so much rich and decadent color all over this room, the white bedding really stands out in stark contrast. It's a nice relief and says this is a place to rest. Kind of cool. There is also a crimson red footstool at the foot of the bed, and another crimson red throw blanket strewn across it with crimson red throw pillows. The headboard is also not to be outdone, because look at this etching. There are beautiful swans carved into either side of this headboard. And so what could be an otherwise boring piece of furniture holds its own in this beautifully decorated room. I mentioned that the other lamp is a different little statue, and here it is. Seems to be one boy playing a trick on another while he sleeps. The real star of the show is the wallpaper, and it wraps around pretty much most of the entire room. It changes up in this corner by the private terrace, becoming something more like a writer's room, before switching back again to this almost decadent green and gold. The trim also differs slightly from that in the bathroom, but it is equally as gorgeous. Now, this room comes with a king bed, but the real question is it comfy? Let's find out. Ooh, it is definitely firm. Look, one of us are gonna have to go first, okay? And I fear it's going to be me. So next to the bed is this huge bookcase, and I don't think you can actually access the books that are inside, but it's really nice to look at. That's the bookcase beside the bed over there, and they have another one here to offer a kind of symmetry to this space. I don't think this one can be opened either, but like the other, it's beautiful to look at. Look, I told you these lamps are gorgeous, but this one makes me feel like I should be passing it off to start the Olympics. And between the bookcases, you'll find a set of drawers here. I've already checked and there's nothing in them, but on top of that is where you will get your complimentary water with glasses. There's also a phone there that you can use, and then the menu if you want to order anything. And of course, the cocktail bar downstairs is called Wilde's. I'll be honest, this is the first thing I thought of whenever I saw the footstool at the end of the bed, and it just reminded me of In Bruges. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. You'll know what I'm talking about. Now, as you surely already noticed, for this section of the room, there is a writer's desk set out here, and these books are accessible, but don't let that distract you from this gorgeous green and brown chair, which itself looks like an antique. In fact, the desk and much of the furniture that is in this room has that antique quality, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was pretty old. On top of the writer's desk is a marble inlay, it looks like, but the real showstopper for this part of the room is this clock. Just look at it. That is stunning. Look at that craftsmanship. Further leaning into the history surrounding Oscar Wilde, the room also showcases certain prints, which I believe are copies of genuine articles or cartoons that came out about Oscar Wilde during his lifetime. So I accidentally pushed against the wall right here, and this is fabric. This is not wallpaper. You can push in on it. Probably please don't, but be aware of that so you try not to lean up against it. We don't want to damage anything, okay? But I accidentally did that when I was trying to look at this little press clipping here, and what it says is that Oscar Wilde was released from prison and he will resume his career as a playwright. Now, if you don't know why Oscar Wilde was in prison, go look it up, and don't take for granted the freedoms you have today that they might not have then. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention, under these water glasses are little purple napkins, but these are cloth napkins. This is not paper. Well done. Now, in the corner of the room is the last table before you go out to the terrace, and on it sits yet another gorgeous lamp with another statue as the base. Also, these crimson red chairs that flank it are pretty comfortable and beautiful to look at in their own right. And then next to the writer's table, you have a wastebasket in case you need it. I also want to praise this gorgeous chandelier that is hanging above us. It has been designed to look like some kind of tree, with the fronds covering each light bulb and little crystals. The wall above this final table also includes a couple of portraits, but even more interestingly, right up here is a letter penned by Oscar Wilde himself. And that's pretty cool. Also look, each of these chairs has a little footstool, and that is just so cute. And now we move out to the private terrace. Here's the door you come out of, and to the left, you have two little lounge chairs here with blankets set out for you. Now, it is raining, or starting to rain, so I'm gonna take these and place these over here for now. But as you can see, to the left would have been the bathroom window we looked out earlier. Oh, this is cool. What is this? There's a little marker there. That's neat. But as you can see, you have plants surrounding this entire terrace, giving you some privacy back here. Of course, you're not totally private because as you can see behind me, there are what I think are apartments, probably other hotel rooms up here at least, and then maybe apartments or hotel over here. So you're not totally private. And then on this side, it's even more enclosed because they have this lovely little umbrella guarding you from the rain. So you've already seen that over on the lounge chairs, you get little purple blankets. But on these chairs, you get more green. And on this table itself, they have an ashtray set out. Looks like for cigars. We're not smokers, so that will go unused. This is also pretty nice because you're in the middle of the city staying at this hotel, and yet, I mean, there's a car alarm right now, but for the most part, it's pretty quiet. You can hear the bells of Notre amidst the gentle patter of falling rain. And when it came to the air conditioning, it kept the room cooler, but again, if you want the sound of that fan, you're gonna need to bring your own.
So what did this historic literary experience cost us? Just over $2,100, which includes 2 nights in the beautiful Oscar Wilde Suite. But what do you think? Would you stay at l'Hotel? Have you? Would you stay in the Oscar Wilde Suite? Or do you have any other favorite stays from Paris? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe now. As always, we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. So until next time.